Hello everyone, this is Heroes Trivia, and as you can see, we have the early access version of the Forge of the Chaos Dwarf DLC for Total War Warhammer 3. Now this build is a development in progress build, so if there are issues, that is normal. It will be ironed out hopefully before the release of the game. And as mentioned in our community post, where we had a poll on which faction to start a new campaign, we're going to be doing a Realm of Chaos Let's Play with Astragoth Ironhand, the Disciples of Hashut. So this is one of the 3 legendary lords. For those curious about the faction-wide bonuses, I'll showcase all 3 of them here, and you can feel free to pause and take a look at the faction effects. But for the purpose of this series, we'll be doing a full campaign with Astragoth Ironhand. The episodes will be daily at this time, unless the schedule shifts, which I will announce on the channel, until the completion where we finish the drill and get the blood of Hashut. So, looking at the map here, we're starting here in the Darklands, and we'll be conquering the nearby areas, gathering Dwarven artifacts to complete this drill. There are a lot of really good cutscenes developed for this DLC, and that will explain the goal of this campaign, which I'll leave the game to do so. The lore, for those who are interested, quite an interesting character we have here. We are the oldest living high priest for Hashut, which is this minor chaos god which changed the Chaos Dwarfs. We were dwarfs thousands of years ago. We split from the regular dwarfs and became followers of Hashut, and now we're Chaos Dwarfs. And we want his blood because it grants us powerful magic. And we have discovered his blood deep in the mines. It's the reason why we dig, why we industrialize. This is sort of the fire magic fantasy industry twisted into the chaos versions of the dwarfs to the extremes, and we'll be leading them as the high priest himself. Now, because we have lived 1,000 years and we are the oldest living high priest, our body is starting to become stone, which is why we're in this mech suit. His legs and arms, or hand actually, I think his arm still works, have turned to stone. So he walks in the mech suit and has placed this hammer in his hand, which has already been casted into stone, and he will fight in this mech suit. We won't have any mounts, but we start with the mech suit, and it is quite fast and has a couple passive abilities that we'll check out, so it'll be quite fun. We'll be playing this on legendary difficulty for campaign and very hard for battle, basically the highest difficulty there is. We'll have battle realism, 40-minute battle timers, the same mode, and let's get things started. A little background for ourselves. The name Astragoth Ironhand is legendary amongst the Dorasztar, powerful, loyal, and zealous acolytes of Hashut, but that was many years ago, and the rigors of time and dark magic hardened the sorcerer prophet's limbs until they turned to stone. Not resigned to becoming a statue, he forged a suit of machinery in which to continue his work. Carried out by his own design and dark intellect, Astragoth Ironhand now travels freely, relying on his own twisted science and construct to convey him. Upstarts may now see him as a fossil, a remnant embedded in stone and well beyond his prime, but Astragoth time is not yet over. Age and petrification are mere obstacles to overcome, and with the fabled blood of Hashut, this domination will be secured.
Echoed throughout the mines of the Dorznye-Vort is a legend of immeasurable power hidden deep under the mountains. A liquid magic so potent it can raise entire cities, leaving nothing but cinders and ash. Eager to exploit this power, the sorcerer prophets of Dorznye-Vort sought to reach the source of this demonic substance. The domain of their malign god, Hashut, the father of darkness. For centuries they dug, exhausting countless workers as they delved deeper than the mountain roots themselves. 2 ashen moons ago, in the depths of the darkest pit, a discovery was made. A trickle of pure power, a crimson seam divining a way through the rocky layers to where Hashut dwells. And so, it was bottled in a vessel of infernal design, rushed to the surface through the fires of industry, to the highest authority. In the council chambers of Astragoth Ironhand, it was presented. Roiling with unholy energy, its gloriously terrible glow glinted in the eyes of all who set their gaze upon it. The blood of Hashut. Far rarer than warpstone and gold, very few vials had ever been extracted from the mines. The key to limitless power.
Exo arbu dakangron, gras strength terrain.
Astragoth, High Priest of Hashut, roared to the God of Darkness. And he replied. Ancient channels etched in rock flow with molten fury. A great drill shall be constructed, forged in the dread fires of the Darklands, imbued with strength to bore through the bedrock and breach a godly domain.
Urtsi will shaba ad. Luntakrum kron.
The forge burns. The fires catch from the depths. The Chaos Dwarves will rise. The Tower of Zarnagrund, the dread city where all wealth and sacrifices flow. But Astragoth is absent from the capital, having taken residence upon the Zorn Uzkal. Green-skinned tribes must be routed, while Skaven and vampires are purged from their nests before the High Priest can enact his scheme. And here, the site of Ironhand's intent. The great drill stands, but is not operational yet.
Eras these groby megos. Mas kamzag mus barak show.
The launch site is made ready at a speed so furious, it becomes a mass graveyard for hundreds of exhausted workers. Expendable lives, for only the drill is of concern. The remaining construction must be imbued with dark sorcery, for the blood of Hashut lies not only in the darkest depths of the world, but in a godly domain where no mortal engine can reach it. 4 dwarf relics are required, each to be corrupted in the forges of the demon-smiths. Only then shall the drill summon power enough to shatter solid rock and the foundations of reality itself. As the abhorrent relics lie undiscovered, a sacrifice must be undertaken to gain Hashut's blessing and reveal their locations.
Alrighty. So it's a pretty guided experience, and we have a pretty defined goal here for the Realm of Chaos campaign. We're supposed to find 4 relics to place into our drill so that we can break through the fabrics of reality and gain access to Hashut's blessing and his blood. And the drill is something that we have to contend with here. There is a lot of details about how to play this faction. We'll get into them as we proceed with this Let's Play. We'll take things rather slowly to take in all the new mechanics. And for our first quest, we have to construct the high-powered drill assembly line, and it will give us drill advancement, which is a 5-turn bonus of raw material, which is one of our unique resources, and we will unlock the next stage towards our campaign victory condition. So let's first take a look at what we have. We have 2 pieces of the settlement here, and this is our unique building of sorts. There are quite a few unique buildings added in the Darklands and beyond for the Chaos Dwarf faction, and we'll bump into them and talk about them as we go. This here obviously is part of the drill that we're building. We have the tier 1 completed, and it wants us to upgrade to tier 2, which, as you can see, requires raw material rather than the typical treasury income to construct. That's going to vary depending on what building we're going for. If we take a look at the building browser here and look at the main settlement, you can see that for a lot of the buildings, like basic military, it's still treasury. But once you go up to advanced military, it's armament, which is another one of our resources. This particular landmark requires us to use our raw material to upgrade, but others, like the ancient inner city, requires treasury. And aside from that, resource requires raw material. Going to our infrastructure, raw material for those, and then back to treasury for defense buildings. So it's a mix. Advanced military requires the armament, which can be made from the raw materials. Raw material can be gained at sites such as these outposts, where we can build mines. As you can see, we get raw material per turn. And we can also build factories instead of outposts at these minor settlements. And those turns your raw material into armaments, which we can use to build your advanced military buildings, as well as get upgrades to your unit. So taking a look at our faction mechanics, a couple of them are grayed out. We don't have convoys until turn 5. Basically, we will dispatch these convoys similar to caravans from Grand Cathay, and we'll go to distant land to get rewards. There will be fights if they do bump into enemies, and there are events along the path as well. We have the Tower of Zar. Zar-Nugrund is sort of the council for the Chaos Dwarf factions. They're separated into districts, and we basically can get seats into these districts. For us to gain access to this, we need to hit 75 Conclave Influence, another one of our resources. This allows us to gain seats and to steal seats from other Chaos Dwarf factions. That's first come, first serve for many of these seats, but once it's taken, you can pay extra to displace the current occupied faction. Obviously, they will not like you if you do that, but the bonuses you can get from these seats definitely do matter. Once we do get our 75 points, we'll take a look at that in greater detail. And then we have the Hellforge. This is sort of our armory. There are 2 components to this. The armory side, which gives boost to units in terms of special bonuses, as well as unit capacity increases, because there are limitations to how many of the Chaos Dwarf units that you can recruit for each type. And then for manufactory, this is a modification of those bonuses added onto your units. So how it would work is we'll take our armament resource, come in here, and pick which type of units we want to upgrade. These are the current cap that we have on the unit. It can be increased, and you can increase whichever one you want at different price levels. And the sum of all the cap for the type of infantry or type of unit that you have will be applied on the bar on the left, and these will unlock factory upgrades. So once we have 5 points in total for the melee infantry, which requires just 1 upgrade of any of them, because currently we're at 4, we unlock the Frenzy passive ability, which can then be picked up by spending resources in the manufactory side. Basically, as you increase the cap for that type of unit, you gain access to more and more bonuses for them that you can purchase. When you do purchase them, it increases the upkeep requirement for the units as a whole, and that upkeep is paid out in armament. So you have to keep your industry going, have to have the right amount of raw material to produce the armament to maintain your armies. And it's a pretty neat mechanic, and definitely going to be something we'll explore. But going back to this right now, in addition to the new stuff and faction unique stuff, we still have our tech tree. It's divided into 3 groups. We have a military branch, which have some requiring armament to upgrade. We have a sorcery branch, which requires the conclave influence to upgrade for certain tech. And then we have industry, which requires raw material to upgrade for certain ones. There's quite a few tech, and some of these are pretty interesting. So for military, we have Stronghold Syndrome, which I guess is a play on Stockholm Syndrome, where the laborers, the green skin laborers, not called slaves for whatever reason, will want to work harder for us. We'll have cheaper upkeep, similar to how you kidnap someone, they end up liking the kidnapper, Stockholm Syndrome. But there's various bonuses. You can focus on the green skin laborer side, you can focus on the Chaos Dwarf unit sides, and the new what were these called? I guess these called tooltips. There's this new red line on the bottom, which allows you to hover. It's a new improvement. You can see once it fills, it kind of keeps it on the screen. And furthermore, if there is information in the tooltip, we haven't found one right here, where there's a little eye afterwards, you can hover over it and it provides you further information about that info. So kind of catching up with times in terms of the tooltips on this 3.0 patch. We'll come back and pick one later, but we have ourselves a battle on our hands to start things off. We have our main army here, Astragoth Ironhand. As you can see in our little mech suit, these are already stone, and as is that arm. He does have quest battle as well as a quest mission. The quest mission will come out at rank 8. We'll get ourselves the Stone Mantle. It has added ability. It's a passive ward save, but there is a small penalty to it. So we can gain up to 30% physical resistance as we take more and more damage. So it becomes harder and harder to kill from physical damage, but will be slowed down up to 10% speed as this ramps up as well. In addition to that, 10% ward save on it and minus 10% chance of miscasts on all characters. Pretty neat. And then once we reach rank 15, we'll get a quest battle for the Black Hammer of Hashut, added augment ability that gives flammable, which is a debuff on enemies hit by this, plus 20% weakness to fire damage. There is increased damage on this weapon, or whatever amount of attack stats we have. It's a buff, basically. 32 seconds with 120 seconds cooldown. We'll get 1 control in all provinces and 15% weapon strength. It's going to be an interesting mission that we'll fight to unlock this. This is our skill tree. Obviously, the most interesting part would be this line here, which is sort of unique to us. We'll get this once we reach rank 12. Winds of Magic increase. We are a high priest, so sorcery, lore of Hashut magic definitely plays a role in our build. And then moving on, Master of the Conclave, improved diplomatic relations with Warriors of Chaos, Demons of Chaos, Chaos Dwarves, Ogre Kingdom, Beastmen, and Norca. So basically all the Chaos aligned factions of sort. I don't know why Ogre Kingdom's kind of included here. I guess our neighbors mostly, the bad factions. Minus 25% for ally recruitment costs for the alliances, which not bad. Then moving on, getting rid of these tooltips is going to be a little bit trickier. Gotta hover away. We have Architect of Evil. We have minus 25% armament cost for increasing the capacity of the Bull Centaur units. Definitely wait till you get this before you start spending your precious armament on those Bull Centaur units. As a faction, Bull Centaur units play quite heavily into our build. We can look at our faction unique bonuses very soon as well. Minus 20% upkeep for all Bull Centaur renders units. Basically all the Bull Centaur units are called Bull Centaur renders. And then we have plus 10 points of armor piercing weapon damage for those units in his own army. The upkeep also for his own army. And you can see what units belong to these bonuses at the bottom, which is a pretty nice improvement. And then we have piercing intellect. Enemy wins a magic power reserve is minus 15% when increasing. And then we pick up a bound spell. So a nice little 3 use for free. Burning Wrath. A little missile damage. Infernal Lord, plus 2 hero capacity for all hero. And plus 3 rank for all those heroes and lords we will recruit in all provinces. Finally, Dark Sacrifice. We reduce the Winds of Magic cost for Hellhammer, as well as the upgraded version, which we can take a look at once we do end up unlocking that. It is over here. There's also another change, I think, to the game on this patch is the Mentor skill, where we'll essentially start sharing our experience with all our other lords. It's an interesting change. It helps your newer lords and characters to gain the experience faster, especially once you kind of maxed out a lord, but you're still using it because it's your best army. Kind of makes sense. The rest of this is pretty similar. We're not going to dive too deep into the lore of Hashut right now. Going back to details, if we go to our own battle effects, our army will have 5% casualty replenishment boost, just his own army, as well as 15% ward save for Centaur render units. As a faction effects will be plus 10% conclave influence gained from all sources, so we can get those seats a little bit faster. 10% boost to research rate for all the tech, and plus 2 control, which impacts labor. Now, speaking of labor, that's the new economic setup that we have. In these outposts where we gain new raw material, there is a labor requirement for getting the raw material out of these locations. You can kind of see we currently have 500 labor in this particular province that we own. Each turn, a percentage of our labor will be lost, and how big that percentage is depends on your control. So the higher the control, the less labor you lose. The lower the control, the more labor you lose, 20%, all the way down to 3%, minimum of 5%. And there's a required amount of labor you have to gain max percentage of your raw material output. So right now we need to have at least 100 labor to produce our required amount. As we build new buildings, let's say we build a new strip mine, we increase our raw material capacity by 200 per turn, but our workload has to meet it. We have to have 300 more workers here. So our requirement goes up to 400 to produce additional 200 per turn. If we don't hit that workload requirement, we'll get a percentage cut from our total raw material capacity. And once we have those raw material, we can have factories that turn them into armaments, which is another thing. And for us to get these laborers, we basically fight. There's other sources we can get them. You can see capture in battle, that's a big one. The convoys that we'll be able to send out after turn 5. Missions, we can move labor around between our settlements. And there are others, which is the starting bonus here. We can raid for them. There are Tower of Tsar bonuses from the seats that we have. And there are ways we can use these laborers aside from the every turn kind of decay. Not really a depreciation here. It's mainly just them dying while they mine resources for you, or they're rebelling. But you can also just sacrifice them. You can sacrifice them to get conclave influence. You can sacrifice them to get cash. Here we're selling them. And you can also kill them to set an example and boost your control, because maybe otherwise you might have a huge amount of labor here from a bunch of fighting, and they're just going to decay away at a high percentage from low control. Let's say you have 1,000 laborers, 20% loss would be 200. Why not spend those same 200 to help you boost your control over the next 5 turns and fix this? That's just the example. And I believe we can open up our labor economy a bit later on once we have multiple settlements to take a look at how we can redistribute labor. There will be an extra cost to move labor around between settlements, but basically you pay gold to shift some labor over. At certain settlements where you might feel like you have a lot of labor already, you can turn the accept new labor off. That way, essentially, when you fight a battle, the captives are distributed evenly to all the provinces where you are accepting labor. So for certain ones where you don't need labor anymore, or maybe you're not mining in that settlement, so you just turn it off, so all the laborers go to your more mine-focused, more outpost-focused settlements, whereas you have other provinces where you're just producing armaments and you don't need that many labor there. So just a few things a bit more micro-intensive to manage economy, which I personally welcome as a player who does focus a little bit more on the macro side of things. This is our end game scenario, or our victory condition, the Great Drill. Right now we don't know where the artifacts are. Once we do know, you will see them on the map. You also see the slots for them. There are actually 8 of these artifacts in a game. You only need to put 4 in the drill to win. You could also take an artifact, there are major and minor artifacts, each with different effect, and not use it on the drill, but use it on yourself and gain different boost. But if you put them all on the drill, I believe you can put all 8 if you want. Each one will have added effect to the final battle that you will have, making it easier. So the more artifact you place on the drill, the better the drill will be and the easier the final battle will be. But maybe you want to keep 4 for yourself to help out during the campaign, or just make your character ever so more powerful. These are choices that you will have, but we got to finish the first mission to complete that, which means we need to get ourselves some more raw material. We start out not only with our army, but we also get a hero, Bull Centaur Taruk. These are quite nice. Not only, well, he's coming with +7 melee attack, there's the trait. But their skills, I believe these are kind of the perfect setup for a hero that you would want. Spread control as the passive, nothing to see there. We have Assault Garrison, which means we can inflict casualty on garrisons, we can assassinate other heroes, we can inflict casualty on armies. Obviously this has been nerfed down quite a bit, but 15% is not bad. So these are all very offense focused, very nice, and obviously he's going to be quite good in the army as well, which is what we're going to use him for, because the tier 1 assault army just does so little casualty, it's not really worth it. Especially since the percentage, I think, is only going to be 50% in the beginning. Yeah. So we're going to end up doing more if we're just in the army. Let's make them move a little faster. Aside from him, we have ourselves a great weapon, Chaos Dwarf Warrior, 2 of the blunderbusses, which are very powerful short-range shotgun units. I think they shoot 3 per round in a pellet. Yes, number of projectile 3. Reload speed obviously being their drawback, but they punch really hard, and we'll showcase that in that first battle. Most of our sort of expendable army will be the orcs and goblins and greenskins that we have as our labor. We have ourselves a Bull Centaur Render, which is sort of our monster cavalry unit that we have here that we'll use. Essentially, you want to sack these to protect your line. There is a unique mechanic for the Chaos Dwarfs where we have Contempt. So, Contempt units, in terms of their leadership, will not get affected by other friendly units routing unless that friendly unit also has Contempt. So this is built on top of the expandable effect that you have on your orc laborers and goblins. Essentially, they only care about themselves. Chaos Dwarfs only cares when they see other Chaos Dwarf units route. So that's essentially what it means. It's an easy fight. They have not much. Goblin, Goblin Archer, Black Orc. So let's take them on. So I think for this battle here, we're gonna sit back, use those blunderbusses. We are on offense, so they're not going to charge at us. We don't have anything with super long range, but our spell is super long range, so we should be able to draw them out, make them charge at us. And we'll find ourselves a suitable patch of land. We have less range than their archers. I think we only have 90, they have 115. That's not going to be a problem. Those archers aren't going to be able to do much. We could use the tree. You want to stretch these out pretty thin. They go 3-line. Actually, let's go right in front of the tree line, actually. I don't even want to be blocked by our own trees. We'll have other ways to deal with their archers. I'm going to leave a little gap in the middle. That's where our orc laborers will charge out from. Essentially, the idea is we'll sacrifice our laborers in every fight. If I can fit them here in a very nice little thin line, that'd be perfect. That will do. We'll basically send them out in between, and that kind of will buy time. And if we get them in a very nice, long, thin shape, the enemy should kind of wrap around and we still have lines to shoot at them. In case they do get close, we'll have some more units that we can just sack. They're basically just leaving out of the zone, which is why we're having trouble fitting them in. Our deployment zone's a little bit small. Maybe here? Yeah. We'll basically help out our blunderbusses. Now our Chaos Dwarf Warriors, I don't think we're going to use them much in this fight. We're going to put them on the side. Our Bull Centaur, as well as our Renders, the unit and the hero, will use their speed to get around them and flank those archers when we need to. I will be casting some spells. First, let's take a look at the little guy. We're in our little mech suit. We go pretty fast. 60 speed. Pretty fast. You know, they have 62, 70. You know, similar. We have 2 spells available to us. One is sort of augment or buff. One is our magic missile Burning Wrath, which will launch a little fireball at them, and then it will soar around like a vortex, dealing a bit of damage. It's very long range, and what we hope to do here is we hit them enough time that they will just kind of charge at us, because they don't want to tank the hits. As you can see, after it hits, a little vortex goes, and we burn a couple more units. I believe the upgraded version will have 3 of those vortexes after using it. Right now it costs 6, pretty cheap. We have, I think, 50 Winds of Magic in our reserve. Yeah, so 60 in total. We can shoot this thing like 10 times. They'll eventually chase us, hopefully. The damage isn't high. But if we're annoying enough, they probably do give us a fight. And this is their strongest unit, so might as well hit them a couple times, even if it only kills 1 at a time. Let's hide these guys over while we wait to provoke them to charge at us. Ah, they're coming. Only took 2. We'll still fire off a couple. We're faster than them. Their speed's only in the 20s and 30s. We'll guide them over to our blunderbuss line. And we'll still cast as we kite. We're not hidden, so they might be sending something over to us. Not exactly the size to hide, but it'll be okay. Oh, we are hidden, actually. There we go, they will follow. Still kind of want to hit the Black Orcs. I don't believe the spell has a lot of armor piercing. Yeah, only 30%. And they do have 110 armor. Not going to do a lot, but everything else will die pretty fast. Gonna drag them over. We'll show up soon. We'll chase the 2 range units around. Let's see if we can make them a little thinner. Now that we don't have the early deployment zone to kind of bug us. As much as we don't care about our laborers, I still want to minimize the friendly damage. Should have it soon. 1 more point. There we go. It definitely works better if they're clumped up. Even though we only killed 10 of them, the rest took a bit of health damage. We're about a quarter health here. We're going to approach them from 2 different directions. Ooh, ooh, ooh. We're fast, we're fast. Run, run, run. Blunderbuss is ready. There's a lot of missile resistance on these guys, but we still don't want to get hit with too many archers. Gonna micro that. Did they all turn around? Okay, maybe I did show too early. I feel like with what they're sending, a couple volleys, I think we can get 3 volleys out before they reach our line. Should be enough. After I fire this off, I'm gonna go and distract the archer there myself. Alright, they only sent the archer. Time to kill them. Are they getting close? Not yet. Back off a little. I'm trying to not have that guy come over. Come on, charge back at us. I don't see why they're going back. These 2 are now hidden. And I'm very much in their face. Okay, finally. We can do 3 more. We don't actually want our laborers to die if we don't have to lose them. Come on, let us volley you guys. I'm gonna charge straight for that. I think they're about to enter. Fire, boys. Fire. And we'll charge these out. I don't think they'll reach, but in case they reach, we'll basically do a straight line charge to get a little bit of impact right here. They'll kind of wrap around our lines so that we can still shoot them without doing too much friendly fire. That group is destroyed. They're destroyed. This new group might get through to us, so we're going to send another group. But maybe we can keep them. Maybe just sacrifice 1 group here. Can we get contact? So they don't charge anymore? Yes, we got them. So basically we're sacrificing 1 unit to kind of keep them away from our blunderbusses here. And they can still shoot at most of those units. Come on, shoot these. Reload takes forever. Not interested? I mean, they'll bounce back if I don't chase. Alright, we're gonna go that way. Go away from their lord there. Fire. They're decent in melee. But it looks like the blunderbusses can take a break. We'll have a rear charge. The Chaos Dwarf Warriors will take over. I'm gonna run away. Keep on that. I have speed. Our 2 blunderbusses will relocate and shoot their lord down. Alright, centaur make... We'll get the centaurs on these. They rallied, good for them. Lead him over. Can we bar you over here? He just can't catch us. Quick volley here. We want to be kind of spread out as much as possible. We'll charge back so that he goes back. Quick kill. That's killed. Wait till he's completely broken. Alright. Let's see how fast he melts. What are we waiting for? There we go. Yeah, the reload is a problem, but I think you can get about 3 volleys before they do collapse the 90-meter distance. He's done. Nope. We'll take the win. Pretty clean. Labor or death are not really death. You're supposed to kind of sack them every fight and then recruit them back after every fight. So here we have the option of taking them in as labor, getting some cash, or replenishment. I think we're fine with replenishment. As I said, not many of our actual Chaos Dwarf take damage there, so we'll add some new labor to our ranks. As you can see, they're added in. And we're going to expand. I'm going to try to take this settlement here. We'll fight this one out. The enemy sallies out to fight on the field. Great. 2 range again. They do have cavalry units of sorts here, but still overall pretty weak army. Same map. We can fight it the same way, actually. If it's not broken, we don't need to fix it. I don't think they have anything good in this case. The Wolf Riders, I mean, we're not going to really pin them down and hit them with any damage there, but we're just going to keep launching these at their infantry. This is technically their leader. So he's the one with the encourage radius. Burn them down a little. And we'll wait on the flanks. They, like the last group, should be charging our front very soon. Maybe also after 2 use of this. Yep, after 2 use. Once we do get some actual siege weapons, we don't need to have our lord spam the spell out to force them to charge. I feel like we can maybe give this group a fight. They're not that strong. They are just fast. But if they're keen on protecting their archer, we can definitely give them a fight. I don't like how they all turn around. We'll be patient. We'll let them keep coming forward. Now this is when another unit walking by would be a good idea. Nope. They kind of juked us. Let them get into the firing range, and then we'll send out our cavalry. They're trying to group together. They're still coming. That's going to have... Oh, I thought it was going to hit the front and had decent value. Chase them out. Chase them out. The rest will still charge, I think. They're ready here. They really do care about their flank. Maybe it can burn through 2 of these from this direction. We'll hit here, and then they'll tear through this one too. It worked. Yeah, it feels like we're gonna have to just let them collapse with our line first, and then we'll worry about the rest later. And if we really want a high damage one, we probably want to be at the side so that you can get multiple here. Yeah, overlapping units, best case scenario. They're tired of me. They're gonna shoot at me. We're about to be out of Winds of Magic. And they're gonna collapse into that line. Alright, that's finished. Keep that line going, keep that line going. Tear that first group. Alright, get into a line here. Gonna send them out as well. We're behind them now. Just to have some good sight line to their units. We're just gonna stay right here, because they're gonna route first, and then we can flank them. I think it's over. Yep. Keep them off our range units, and it's quite easy. Fire resistance, not that useful. And here we have a choice. So whenever we capture a minor settlement, we have the option to build it as one of two different choices: outpost, which produces raw material, and factory, which turns those raw material into armaments. In this case, for our... Oh, it's teaching us that. You could change it, but it will destroy all the secondary buildings because they're unique to each one. We want to build up our raw material first so that we can finish our mission to upgrade our unique building. So we're going to do an outpost here. We'll gain comfortable laborers, lose instability, lose a little bit of control. So here we have a hobgoblin camp already built for us to get a more units. I don't think we want that. I'm going to demolish that, get a bit of cash. Over here in our new holding, we are going to build the mines. There's two versions we can go for. One for raw material, one for income, as well as income from post-battle loot for all armies in adjacent regions. If we upgrade another tech, extended shifts, the income will go up. And you can see this one's basically where we get our income from the traditional treasury, and this one's where we get the raw material. We do have a decent amount of laborers here, so we're gonna start strip mining here. Over here, resources are a little bit different for us as well. Here for the iron, We can only build the tier 3. We have to use raw material to build it, and there's also farther arguments when we do get the technology of stockpiling for this one in this case, where we get 15% additional armament output in the local province, which means this province in the future will be a better factory town than a mining town, because we'll get more armament produced. And that's something we have to kind of consider once we diversify our holdings, which one should be more focused on mining, which one should be more focused on armaments. But in the meantime, we need to advance the story, so we need to just get ourselves that 1500 raw material and get the high power drill assembly line built. We look at the regular economy buildings here for the main settlement. We have living quarters, which is more focused on casualty replenishment and recruitment of lords and heroes. I think it's useful early on, I guess, if you really care about casualty replenishment, if you're struggling with your fights, but this is sort of the main income route. You're using raw materials to kind of build up a nice income source for yourself. Here, you're using raw materials to get control and campaign movement. It can become quite a bit in terms of getting upkeep discounts and more campaign movement, all the way up to, I think, 30% campaign movement for all armies in local province, minus 5%, that stays the same, and control for this and adjacent provinces, which does have its value because you're worried about losing your labor to the default control decay. Once we hit tier 3, furnace will reduce the consumption of raw material per turn by buildings, and 15% here. Here we have conclave influence being gained, winds of magic, diplomatic relation with chaos dwarfs, and +3 recruitment rank for bull centaurs, up to 15 points of the conclave influence if we get the relevant tech upgrade as well. As for this consumption of raw material, I'm trying to figure out which building would actually do that. It doesn't look like it's our main settlement. I assume it's be the factory buildings, right? The synergy between consuming raw material for the factory to get armament. It could just mean cheaper armament. It's my thought behind that. Garrison, all the way up, where we get 2 Infernal Guards, 2 Goblin Archers, and 2 Bull Centaur Renders, plus 1 of the Bull Centaur Taruks, a hero added in. 50 points of the defensive supply, minus 5% attrition. Other choices are the Tower Ballistics, which have all sorts of campaign movement debuff for enemy armies. The ability to use Dreadquake Battery upgraded, I think we can do it 3 times in total once we get it fully upgraded, and you can see what it does. The new tooltip is quite nice, and you can also have the upgraded fire to additional projectile. Essentially, you get some army ability to use to help you defend, and the typical reduced chance of plague, reduced chaos, undivided corruption. Although I don't think we have to worry too much about this. We don't really deal with the same type of end goals as the typical starting factions, the base game factions in the on launch. So I'm not sure if we will need the protection building. We'll see if portals do pop up and influence us, but that's not really a main concern right now. I am not sure where I want to go. Probably industry. We can have more labor gained. And we didn't do any of our diplomacy on turn 1 before the fights, which is usually a good idea.
Bloodthirsty.
But no one seems to want to trade with us.
Clan war.
Point 3 is not really gonna net anything out of that deal. We have 2 points. Route Marcher just for the 5%. Pretty standard. Post-battle loot income, post-battle labor gain. It's not bad. Upgrading the spell will make it cost 10, so we'll get to use it less, but there's 3 projectiles that will come out of this, and it basically spawns additional vortexes. I think it's worth getting. We have to overcast it. Cooldown minus 30%. Well, I'm not sure what units we will specialize. Our sort of unique line doesn't really impact units that much. So I'm not sure if we are going to go pretty deep into that. I do think we'll finish the bottom line here, even though there's quite a few uniques. Campaign movement range, another 5%. Casualty replenishment, upkeep discount for a pretty nice juicy army. We need 4 points in the before. Income from raising. Probably not going to get recruitment cost. We can use underways. Definitely an option for us. Ambush defense chance. Maybe we'll end up getting lightning strike. Not very original, but the ability to take out reinforcement definitely helps. If we're going to come down this way, I think we will get lightning strike. The other option is we just don't get any of these and just keep route marchers and get the rest. We'll consider this later. I think we can save the points. Pretty sure the second we hit rank 12, I'm going to grab pretty much every single one of these. So we have to save ourselves about 5 points anyways. He's going to stay in the army until he picks up most of these on the bottom, and then we'll probably have him go out. Right now, I think the best he can do for us is survivalist. AoE ward save for physical resistance. Pretty cool. Yeah, I think we'll keep him in the army for now. Grab that. These are very cheap. Very, very cheap. So very expendable. We'll probably just add 2 of these. Maybe even 3. I'll probably get rid of the orc laborer that we have here. That's a little bit better. So they get a little extra leadership if they are within range of a unit with contempt. We get more defense with these, much less offense, almost no charge bonus. Leadership is low anyways, but we just really want a meat shield. So I'm considering maybe we just drop this guy. We'll keep him for now. We'll think about it later. Regiment of Renown. There's quite a few for us. And we'll get these once we hit the rank requirement. First one we can get is the Khan's Wolf Boys, which is a harassment unit. They have, I think, every single weapon on the cavalry, on the wolves. They have a spear, they have a bow, they have a shield. They're a hybrid of 2 regular units rather than a direct replacement of 1. Just a nice little harassment unit we can use. Alright, so that's good. Buildings going down. There is no growth for us, by the way. We don't have to wait for growth to build up before we upgrade our settlements. We just have to have the required resources. So generating economy, keeping it going, we don't have to wait for growth to build up in any of these settlements. I do think we do spend a little here, even though we're saving up for that building. Getting the income is quite important. Alright, we're good to go. We have 1 assigned skill point, that's fine. We need to fight 3 battles. We will get the more labor bonus, post-battle gain plus 15 for all army, 15%, and then 1500 into our treasury. they're trying to build up a new force before we conquer them. That is most definitely not going to be allowed. And we're going to just charge out and take them. Wait, why can't I... Huh. Why do I have to close that? Oh, okay. We have a separate mission. Construct a building. We are constructing a building in the mine chain. It's coming. As a matter of fact, we're going to have 2 of those. Labor should keep up. Plus 600 will keep the fighting going. A slightly harder fight with the garrison here. And I think they're going to be staying inside for this one. So, this will be interesting. We're going to have to find a good use for our blunderbuss in these narrow streets. We'll be fighting our way in pretty early on. I think the only thing we'll do is this pretty injured unit. We're gonna put him on the other side of the map so that they will at least deploy a few things on this side and stay out of our march towards the center. He'll be a decent distraction. As a matter of fact, I might do that with multiple units just to spread them thin a little. These 2 are just pure distractions. The rest of us will try to force our way in. Tower. Lots of tower. This tower is controlled by which point? They're all controlled by this point. We're gonna probably just bypass it. We're gonna go this way. We'll tank some damage, no big deal. So they have put 2 units on that side. How many did they put on this side? 1 unit. Okay. I could have marched from the outside. Like, you know, our very smart Astragoth. Is that a back entrance? Or is that the edge of the map? That looks like the edge of the map. We're gonna capture the points. We'll blow that tower. Actually, why don't you just go here? I guess we could get this first. It wouldn't affect the speed. If they do turn around, we can sort of chase them. Nice. We'll beat that tower. We should shred it. Yes. 2 volleys though. 1 volley would have been great. The reload takes a while. Alright, keep moving. I mean, none of these barricades will finish. Pretty sure we'll capture everything before. Feels like I'm the defender in this case, given that we're going pretty deep and they don't have anyone behind. We just gotta get through this point. There's too many towers here, but once we do get to this inside, they don't have control of that. We can fight around these bridges. Should be a lot easier for us at that point. We're pulling to capture this too. I'm pretty sure they'll start building once we do capture this point. They took a lot of damage, but they didn't lose a lot of units. So that's a good thing. Alright, we should be finally outside of their range. It doesn't look like they're interested in coming towards us. That's the weird thing. I mean, this is not a victory point, just a capture point. We do get rid of the siege defender bonus. They lose some melee defense, they lose some leadership. We'll still have to fight them, but we're just going to fight away from that point in particular. I think we can shoot them from above. We'll probably take out these 3 groups first, get our guys in, and then we'll go fight them. That tower is ridiculous, that range. We need this point, which it's easier gained by fighting through this side. I think that's traversable. I hope. But we don't want to get into any bottlenecks, because these towers will shred us. I'll go a little faster. Can we fire down from this bridge? Yes or no? No? No. Okay, that's sad. Then we can do something like this. Pathing wise, this way's better. Okay, I think we can step up a little. Maybe we only need one of them. It's not enough space for really two of them. Can we fire? There we go. They're running the wrong way. Do we have to charge them? We might have to. I feel like they're trying to retreat back. We don't want that. Oh, they changed their mind. Fire. Just give them one good volley. Oh. Alright, their morale is done. I don't know how to take this point without taking tremendous amount of damage. There's way more. Oh my god, they're already shooting us. They've been shooting us. No, just started. Okay. Seriously, that range. Like, even walking to here feels like a nightmare. Firing, guys? What's wrong with the firing?
Goblins!
Astragoth He's Astragoth!
Goblins! Moving fast! Running!
One more volley, one more volley.
Let's fight!
I feel like we do have to charge back. We have to take that point by force.
Moving fast! Running! Moving fast!
I'll go solo him. Yeah, I could shoot down that tower as they fight. It's a possibility. Alright, that's routed. We can join the fight. He will stay here and pin that guy down.
Goblins! Running! Moving fast! We better than death!
This is a path, right? No. I don't know if this is traversable. It looks like there is. These like look like road, but our pathing is... Why is our pathing like this? Are we going through here? Do we have to go through here? Hold on. Then we might as well go here. If there's no way to get access to here from this, as in that's not a road, which currently that's what it looks like. It looks like a road, but it's not a road. We have to go through here, which is very bad. I might as well go down here. Just confirming. Hey, look at the pathing. It's like, nope, can't find it, can't find it. Gotta go this way. We're just gonna bash ourselves into these archers. I can soften them up a little. Do I not have line of sight? Feels like I am just kind of stuck here around the edge.
Keep moving!
I mean, the good news is their units are not piling back to protect the point. Do I have vision? Do I have vision? I do. Okay, good. Yeah, still no pathing here. It's taking the rest of our army way too slow. I mean, we have a decent amount of missile resistance on these guys. 25%, so it's not bothering us too much. But this is too slow. Shoot that. Alright, we're gonna pull these back. Don't want to lose too many. We still have 11 of the 16, even though we lost a lot of the health. They can still heal back pretty nicely after the battle's over. We'll keep him in here. Give him a boost. Alright, let's get him. He's retreating. We're capturing the square, and then all the towers would disappear. So just keep going. We don't need to shoot it anymore. There we go. We still have a lot of units to kill, but it's a lot easier now. And there we go. Wiped out their leadership. Yeah, siege battles are still a pain. All things considered, we didn't lose that many units, even though it didn't look like it. The towers are more than annoying, but they don't kill that fast. And I'm going to stick with just triple outposts. In the future, this is probably going to be a triple factory province. But you can't really get armaments without having enough mines. So with that, we're going to end our episode here. We'll come back and continue our build up. Now, we did get another resource here. Pastures become goat pastures for us, and we can get cheaper recruitment of our beasts, the Lamas and Taurus, Great Taurus and Bell Taurus units, and decrease their upkeep faction-wide as well. Pretty interesting. So we probably want to build an advanced military building for that in this province in particular to take advantage of that recruitment cost discount. But aside from that, we're probably just going to end up building a few of our resource producing buildings here alongside that unique resource. So we'll continue to check things out as we move forward. We have full control of one province now. Continuing from here, I think we're going to either take on the vampires here. Plenty of Skavens around as well. We're going to leave our fellow Chaos Dwarfs alone. We're not going to fight them. Hopefully we can confederate a few. There's also Greenskin in the horizon. I do not believe that we are at war anymore. Right. We finish off the faction we are at war with. So we have our choice here of what we want to do. Definitely want to trade somewhere, but we're going to have to work on that. And we'll come back here and discover some new mechanics as we hit that turn 5 later. Until then, bye!